Who knew that the doctor of this medical center was also a master of hidden weapons? He single-handedly finished off all the assassins. What's so great about using hidden weapons? There's no honor in stealth attacks. Claudia scoffed. Being born into a family of martial artists, she had no respect for people who engaged in sneak attacks and underhanded methods. To be fair, she was a victim of Thor's sneak attack which caused her to be severely injured. As Claudia thought of this, anger burned within her. Claudia picked up the sword from the ground and held it to Thor's neck. Speak! Who sent you? I don't know. Being a hitman, I am employed to kill, steal, and destroy. As long as they pay up, we don't care for whom we work, Thor replied with difficulty. How dare you lie to me? Claudia sliced the tendons on his arms and legs. Thor screamed in agony, large beads of sweat rolling down his face. I really don't know. In terms of business deals, I receive instructions from a superior. I'm just following orders. You are making things difficult for me. I have little patience. If you make me wait any longer, say goodbye to your jewels. Claudia placed the sword at Thor's crotch. Please don't. I'll tell you everything. Thor screamed as he grimaced in pain. The person who employed us to kidnap Ms. Murray is. Before Thor could finish the sentence, he suddenly convulsed on the spot, spitting out blood that was black in color. After a few seconds, he was as dead as a doornail. Is he dead? Claudia was taken aback by the strange occurrence. Wasn't he fine just a minute ago? How could he die so suddenly? While she mused over his death, Thor's abdomen visibly swelled up. Something seemed to be crawling under the surface of his skin. A spider emerged from his belly button, followed by a whole swarm of spiders, crawling all over Thor's lifeless body. It was a revolting sight to see. What are all these spiders doing inside his body? Sheila staggered backward in shock. At that moment, Dustin smirked. Interesting. Having the ability to activate venomous curses from afar, the person who employed Thor to kidnap you must be very powerful. Venomous curses? How could you be certain? Are you familiar with curses? Claudia asked, puzzled. I know a little. Dustin nodded. Only shady, wicked characters would learn the art of venomous curses. As expected, you are not a good person. Speak up, who are you? Claudia lifted the sword and pointed it at Dustin. Claudia! What are you doing? He is our savior. Sheila quickly stood in front of Dustin to protect him. Sheila, get out of the way. This man is being suspicious. I must investigate him thoroughly. Claudia's eyes glittered. Before you investigate me, I recommend that you get your head checked. Dustin rubbed his temples. Don't you know that curses can be used to heal? Of course, many nefarious villains use curses for their own benefit. However, not everyone is as bad as you imagine. It depends on the user's character. Besides, the martial arts families aren't as innocent as you make them out to be. Crimes such as pillaging, corruption, and rape are rampant within the martial arts circle as well. Don't spout nonsense. In my opinion, you are just quibbling. Claudia denied. Quibbling? Look at what you are doing now. Do martial artists like you treat their saviors in such a disrespectful manner? Are you going to bite the hand that fed you? Dustin chuckled. You. Claudia was at a loss for words. Claudia, stop accusing him. If he is really a bad person, why would he save us? Sheila frowned. Who knows, maybe he has an ulterior motive. Claudia insisted. However, her tone was much softer now that she had calmed down. She knew for a fact that logic wasn't on her side. Suddenly, a loud car horn was heard outside the medical center. More than 10 Hummer vehicles stopped outside the doors of the medical center. As the car doors opened, a swarm of bodyguards appeared and surrounded the center immediately. Finally, the support team is here. Sheila laughed with delight. Sheila! Claudia! Are you all right? A handsome young man stepped into the room. He was tall and well-built, with a sharp gaze. His noble aura was not that of an ordinary person. We are fine, thanks to this man who saved us, Sheila replied cheerfully. Oh, really? Sheila, you can only know a man's face but not his heart. You should stay away from any strangers when you are out and about. Xavier horse-sized Dustin up, his gaze was judgmental. Huh? What do you mean? Sheila frowned. Nothing, I'm just giving you some advice, Xavier said with a smile. He motioned to his men to clean up the scene. Sheila, let's not waste any time. We should head back home immediately. Aunt Lily is waiting for us, Claudia urged. Although the support team had arrived, this place wasn't completely safe. Thank you so much for your help, I'll be sure to repay your kindness. Goodbye for now, Sheila thanked Dustin warmly and turned to leave. Miss, your chronic illness has been suppressed for a long time, it might get out of control soon. You should get it treated early to prevent any life-threatening complications. Dustin blurted out. When he touched her skin, he noticed that her body temperature was lower than normal. Upon closer inspection, he could roughly infer that the illness troubling her wasn't a common ailment. Nonsense! Claudia curled her lip in disbelief. Thank you, I will be more careful. Sheila smiled brightly and waved goodbye. Xavier felt a little jealous when he noticed Sheila being so friendly to Dustin. After Sheila got into the car, he glared at Dustin. A word of advice for you, punk. Stay away from Sheila if you know what's good for you. Otherwise, be prepared for the consequences. With that, he strode out of the center. In his opinion, beggars like Dustin did not even have the right to converse with him. What a lunatic. Dustin shook his head and continued drowning himself in alcohol. Evening, at Fallridge Haven, Sheila was eating her dinner while telling her parents everything that had happened. Dad, Mom, I'm telling you, that man was so amazing. Just 2 flicks of his wrist, and all the bad guys were killed. Sheila described the situation eagerly. She even acted out a scene for her parents. Really? I never thought that a small place like Swinton would have such a talented young man. I would like to meet him one day. Her mother, Lily Doyle, smiled affectionately at her daughter. Her father, Caden Murray, banged on the table. Humph! How dare you disobey me? Haven't I warned you? Do not go out and explore without permission. You were lucky that nothing terrible had happened. If you weren't, you could have died today. Dad, it's just an accident. Those bad people were too sneaky. They poisoned and attacked us when we weren't prepared, and that's why Claudia fell into their trap. Otherwise, no one could have hurt me. Sheila pouted. In the martial arts world, winning is everything. No one cares about honor in combat. Anyway, you are not allowed to leave Fallridge Haven without permission. Caden continued in annoyance. All right. I won't go out anymore. Please don't be angry at me. Sheila pouted coquettishly. That's more like it. I had enough of you today, now go and lie down on your emerald bed. You need more rest. Caden ordered. Okay? Without another word, Sheila quickly left and ran to her room. Because of her illness, she and her parents would travel to Fallridge Haven every year to regain her health. Once her condition improved, they would only leave. Lily, when will the Gozerberry arrive from Stone Ray Valley? Caden spoke up. I think it will arrive soon. Why do you ask? Is it urgent? Lily replied. Sheila's illness has been acting up more frequently. The sunburst emerald bed at Fallridge Haven seems to be not having as much of an effect these days. We have to think of other solutions, Caden said gravely. How could this be? Isn't she getting better? Lily frowned. Don't worry too much about it. I have asked Malcolm Shane, the miracle doctor, to have a look at Sheila's condition. Once he arrives, he will definitely have some idea on how to treat her illness. Caden forced a smile. Let's hope so. Lily nodded thoughtfully. Her daughter's rare disease had been troubling her all her life and seemed to be incurable. She hoped that this time, her daughter could be fully healed.